Now, as we reported yesterday, that suspected murderer of college student Mollie Tibbetts, who was been missing since July 18th, it was revealed to be Christian Rivera, an illegal immigrant. Obviously, our hearts, thoughts, and prayers and all good wishes go out to her family. It's an absolutely abhorrent story, absolutely heartbreaking, and her family's in, understandably, a lot of pain. President Trump accurately described this last night at the rally in West Virginia. Watch.
You heard about today with the illegal alien coming in, very sadly, from Mexico, and you saw what happened to that incredible, beautiful young woman. Should have never happened. Illegally in our country. We've had a huge impact, but the laws are so bad. The immigration laws are such a disgrace. We're getting them changed, but we have to get more Republicans. We have to get.
Unsurprisingly, many on the left have decided that this is not evidence of any issue related to our unprotected border and immigration laws left unenforced. In fact, many have spent the day spinning away from that conclusion by doubling down on the idea that sovereignty is xenophobia, and that it also stokes racial animosity to call for increased border security and enforcement of immigration laws. Now, as you saw in today's Open, 2020 presidential hopeful Senator Elizabeth Warren callously told a grieving family that their loss is tragic, but it's not the real problem. And to make matters worse, check out Christina Greer on MSNBC last night, portraying the death of an innocent young woman as nothing more than a mere distraction. Watch.
They have been so willing to move the goalpost every single time with this president, no matter what he says, no matter what he does, right? The fact that he was even sworn in as president after the Access Hollywood tape let me know for a fact that the Republican Party is actually not working on behalf of the American people. They are working on behalf of Donald Trump, and he's been able to bully them into their silence, and I don't think that today changes much, unfortunately. I'm sure we'll hear what he has to say about this at his rally, but Fox News is talking about, you know, a girl in Iowa and not this.
How much do you want to bet that Greer had no issue at all with naming the illegal immigrant Joel Aronalera, who was arrested on the way to the hospital because his pregnant wife, they were going for a scheduled C-section, and he was taken into custody by ICE because of an outstanding murder warrant from Mexico. See, names only seem to matter to the open borders progressive left when it serves the purpose of their narrative. And for them, Mollie Tibbetts seems to be an inconvenience, and instead of recognizing and acknowledging the very real threat posed by the presence of illegal immigrants whose lack of documentation and our inability to track and determine whether or not they were properly vetted, whether or not these individuals who are entering illegally carry with them criminal records, it means that we cannot assess the threat that an individual may pose, a threat not just to the individuals who have already suffered tragic losses, but a threat to millions of law-abiding families all throughout the country. Democrats running for office, they instead focus their attacks on the one agency that has been doing something about it, ICE. Check out New York Attorney General candidate Zephyr Teachout latching on to this open borders narrative and threatening to prosecute the very agency that exists to stop the Christian Riveras of this world.
So much to say about ICE. Let me think about it quickly. I think it's critical that law enforcement speak out and say this is a tool of cruelty, unconstitutional behavior, illegality. There's so much wrong with ICE that goes to its very structure. The idea that people are illegal, the idea that we should see immigrants as a national security threat, and that ICE should be placed under the Department of Homeland Security